Okay. Well, this is probably going to be one of your favorite lessons. Monk level discipline. This is so important. It's all important. It's all important, but there's some lessons that are like, if you don't do it, it all falls apart. And this is one of those lessons. If you don't do this stuff, it all falls apart. Okay. So it's very important. Okay. Now, monk level discipline. I'm gonna start with the quote. Every impulsive trade is a confession. You lack the discipline to succeed. Either change your habits or change your goals. So in trading, discipline is non-negotiable. It's something that, well, in everything, discipline is non-negotiable. If you want success. If you don't want success, be as undisciplined as you want. Totally random. But if you want predictable success, discipline is extremely important. And it's actually the one thing that causes success or failure. People think it's like many variables and so many variables that make somebody successful and vice versa, not successful, a failure. Right? People think it's like many different things. There's just one. It's discipline. Without discipline, it all falls apart. If you cannot follow your plan over and over and over and over again, it falls apart. What's the point of having a plan? You know? So I want to lead into this lesson's a little bit more detailed. I'm going to go through it quicker. So, on the main points, there are three types of performers: low performers, average performers, and high performers. Low performers rely on luck or gut feeling and often avoid difficult tasks. It's a lot of people. Okay, that's a lot of people. If you're one, you got to change. Okay, major key. Otherwise, it's just pointless. You know. Average performers trade well when the market is in their favor, but struggle in challenging conditions. Now, these guys, this is kind of what I talked about earlier in pattern recognition. It's these guys, it's these people. You know, they're going to do well, and then they're going to be like, oh, market conditions. But they actually just did a bunch of fucking self sabotage because of their self worth. They're not worthy to be a high performer. They're not worthy of these returns. So they gotta bring themselves back to regular level so that they can fit in with society, so that they can fit in with their neighbors and their friends and their colleagues. Because you don't want to stand out, you know? So you become an average performer. That's a lot of people. Recognize that this is not just trading related. This is like day-to-day teamwork, 9 to 5 work, like anything. Right? You can be a low performer, or average performer, or a high performer, but this is true for all. High performers stick to their system regardless of market conditions, showing resilience and adaptability. You know, so low performers rely on luck or gut feeling and often avoid difficult tasks. It's a lot of those people, man. I see it all the time. And average performers trade well when the market is in their favor, but struggle in challenging conditions. That's the self sabotage people. They're going to blame everything else except take responsibility. And then you get high performers who stick to their system regardless of market conditions, showing resilience and adaptability. They take responsibility for sure. They know they're in control. They want to stay in control. And that's how they stay in control, by following the system that they fucking built. It's not difficult. It really isn't. But it seems more difficult. It's very challenging for people. But not once you get in the flow. It's just habits. It's just habits, you know? So In order to become a high performer and achieve greatness, you need to cultivate monk level willpower, and you do that by discipline, sacrifice, focus, consistency, and systems. So let's focus on discipline, which is going to narrate a little bit on all of this stuff. So, discipline, I have here, is the tool of the masters. And there's this quote in martial arts, I guess. Who are you going to be more fearful of? The one who practiced the same kick 1,000 times, or the one who practiced 1,000 kicks one time? The one who practiced one kick 1,000 times, or the one that practiced 1,000 kicks one time? Whose do you think is going to get better results? Your answer here is going to dictate how your training journey is going to go. Because there's going to be people in here who are going to practice this one thing over and over and over and over and over again. Get 1,000 reps in. And they're going to become goats. They're going to be so refined, so disciplined, just following the system, you know. And then there's going to be people who are always distracted and fucking every few minutes scrolling through social media, and then they realize, oh shit, I'm scrolling, I'm gonna put my phone down, you know. And then they get to work, and then oh shit, notification, starts scrolling again. Oh fuck, I'm scrolling, I'm not getting anywhere. Discipline, you know. But another example of this will be somebody's learning a strategy, a system, and they're like, oh, what's this guy on YouTube talking about? Oh, he's talking about a different system. Oh, what about this guy? Oh, he's talking about a different system. Oh, what about this guy? He's talking about a different system. So you learn 1,000 fucking systems and you don't master all. You don't master any. You know? So discipline is really the tool of the masters. And what does that mean? Is that if you're disciplined and focused and you just do the work to the best of your ability every single day, you show up and you don't fuck around, then you will reach a level of mastery. Do one thing 1,000 times and you will master it. If you do 1,000 things one time, you ain't gonna master shit all, you know. And that's really kind of discipline, is really staying on that path, right? And what does it take? Well, it takes sacrifice. Achieving greatness and becoming a high performer, because this is related to high performers, right? Because we're going to see in trading, just like in everywhere in life, in trading, we will see low performers, we will see average performers, we will see high performers. That description, you're going to see it. It's fucking true. You know, it's fucking true. So if you want to be a high performer, you got to be extremely disciplined. And you're going to have to sacrifice some stuff. What does that mean? Well, what is it that you want? Focus all your attention on that. What's that going to do? Well, it's going to mean that you don't have time for some other stuff. Sacrifice. Some shit you just gotta let go. Some shit you just don't have to be doing. Some shit just does not serve you. Some people don't serve you. A lot of times your friend circles don't serve you. When your friend calls you up, hey, you want to go out for drinks and you gotta make a watch list, which one are you sacrificing? Social life or financial freedom? You gotta sacrifice one thing. Which one is it gonna be? Social life or financial freedom? The dream life. You gotta sacrifice the dream life, or are you going to sacrifice the social life? And guess what most people do? They sacrifice the dream life. Priorities, right? But if you want to become a high performer in trading, hey, you know what? Like, you're going to have to sacrifice some stuff. Then you're going to realize that. You're going to have to sacrifice a lot of stuff. You know, friend circles, family members, routines, and things that you enjoy right now. You know, just like if you want to get fit, right? Which I highly recommend. It requires a tremendous amount of discipline to be fit, a tremendous amount of discipline, and it will serve you well in trading, right? Because it's the same work, right? But in order to get fit, you got to sacrifice some stuff. What do you got to sacrifice? Well, let's say you got to shred some fat. It's very simple. People think it's like so difficult to get fit. It's not. You just got to be disciplined, you know, and follow through every single day. And what does it take? A slight calorie deficit, eat a little bit less, cut out the snacks, you know, and your body's gonna have a slight calorie deficit, and all of a sudden, without you even working out or doing anything, you will burn more than you consume, and you will start to shred. Add a little bit of physical activity. Doesn't even have to be going to the gym, right? But you're gonna have to give up some time to do, hey, some yoga at home, or some push-ups, or some pull-ups, you know, or some air squats, whatever it is, simple stuff to work on your fitness ability a little bit. Go and take 10,000, 12,000, 14,000 steps a day. And all of a sudden, you're going to realize small actions like that, just a little bit of calorie deficit, cut out the junk food, cut out, you know, the excess eating, right? And have a slight calorie deficit where naturally you just burn more than you consume, right? Do a little bit of working out and get your 10,000, 12,000 steps every single day in a fast pace, right? And all of a sudden, man, you're going to be shredded. And this is to anybody, you know, it doesn't take anything serious, right? But it takes some sacrifice, right? No junk food when you're watching TV. Sacrifice. You know, you got to go out instead of sitting on your ass. You got to go out and do some 10,000 steps. Sacrifice. But you'll actually realize, oh shit, I enjoy this. You'll actually learn to enjoy discipline, because discipline gets you a certain result, and it gets you a better result than not being disciplined. So people often, like, when they're not disciplined, they ask me, like, how do you stay so disciplined and so on? I'm like, it feels good, man. Like, I just enjoy my routine. I enjoy the stuff that I do today. It just feels good. My body feels good. Like, my routine is good. Like, it's just good, you know? And because I enjoy it, I do it every day. And therefore, I'm disciplined. Because the other shit, you know, not doing the stuff that I do in a day to day, you're going to see my day to day routine later in peak performance lesson. Okay. In the peak performance lesson, I'll show you my whole daily routine. But it's like the other stuff just doesn't feel good, man. Like not being disciplined, you know, like sacrificing, you know, work for something else, you know. And obviously there's some stuff that you can't sacrifice. Health you cannot sacrifice. You know, I don't think you can sacrifice your financial future. You know, I don't think you can sacrifice your immediate family, you know, wife, husband, kids, right? It's gotta be priority, right? You gotta make time for that shit. Health, family, and I think like your fucking dream life, man. Like your lifestyle. You can't sacrifice that. But people do. People sacrifice all of that, right? For other things that don't serve them anything, going out with their friends or whatever it is, right? It's just a stupid example, but you get the point, right? Sacrifice is giving everything to win, like literally giving everything to win and being your best. And yeah. Now focus. Channeling energy into the grid. This one's important. Focus, channeling energy into the grid. So, focus and energy. There's an equation here. Simple equation. Write this down. Focus times energy equals result. Okay? Focus times energy equals result. And I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to compare somebody who's in a 9-to-5 trying to day trade to somebody who's a full-time trader like myself, fully optimized. Okay, for full-time trading, full-time day trading. Energy. What did they say? Focus times energy? Okay, focus. Let's start. Energy. Energy times focus. Change your equation. Energy times focus. Start with energy. Okay. Most people, energy. Wake up in the morning, right? Probably by an alarm clock, right? Rush, get dressed real quick, shower, maybe eat some shit, something not nutritious, drive to work or commute to work, go to work, spend 8 hours at work, right? Drive home from work, get on the computer, and do 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of trading, right? So, energy, where are they at? Probably at like a fucking 2 out of 10. They've used their energy on everything else. You get what I'm saying? You use your energy on everything else. So when it comes to the most important task, I say it's the most important task because it gets you the dream lifestyle, right? Which is actually succeeding in trading and being focused and locked in and having all your energy being dedicated on this, right? They're not there. They're at a 2, maybe a 4, because they did all this other stuff. They use their energy. Every single time we wake up, just imagine like we have this fucking flame, man. Every time we get up, we wake up, we start the day, we have this flame of energy. It's fucking burning, man. It's burning. But then we do this, we get fucking in an argument with this person, we eat some shit food, right? We sit all day, we do some fucking spreadsheets in our 9-to-5, right? We drive back, listen to the radio, they're talking some bullshit, gets your energy down, gets you drained. You come home and you're like, I gotta fucking chill, put some Netflix on. Like you're fucking drained, right? And then people are thinking like, why am I not getting the result that this person's getting? Well, your energy, man, it's done. It's gone. Don't have any. Then you're gonna think about like, well, how do I get my energy? Well, discipline, sacrifice, building new habits. So the other example, somebody who has a 10 energy, I'm gonna use myself, because somebody who's fully optimized, so other full-time traders, when you're talking to somebody who's doing trading part-time versus somebody who's doing trading full-time, nothing else, wake up and they're motivated because, hey, I don't have to go to a 9-to-5. I work from home. Drive, inspiration's there. I work out. I do a meditation in the morning. Work out, meditate. As soon as you work out, you get the fire is even stronger, man. It's burning because you just worked out. Then you meditate, and all of a sudden you got more energy, more clarity because you just meditated. You calm the chaos in your mind. You got focused, on the vision. So you just like, the energy is even burning. The fire is even bigger. Then you fed yourself with good fuel, good, nutritious food, right? And therefore the fire is growing even more. You took a walk in nature, a hike, you got grounded, fire is burning even more, and then you get on the charts and you're like, fuck, I have all this energy. You know what I mean? Energy is out of 10, right? Focus. Now let's go to the other part of the equation. Focus, right? most people, again, gonna get on the computer and again use that 9 to 5 example. They're gonna come, and they're gonna get home and they're gonna put their trading schedule in this inconvenient time, right? Just when they get home, and all of a sudden, uh, you're trying to make a watch list and you're catching up on your fucking shit. You're scrolling. Maybe you're watching a YouTube video. A lot of people do this shit. They do an hour of deep work, and as they're doing fucking deep work, there's a YouTube video playing. There's a podcast playing. You're not focused. I'll just leave that as an example. Fuck 9 to 5. This is full-time traders too. You know, you're supposed to be focused 110, like 100% focus on this fucking task, which is making your watches, being prepared, which is the most important thing, by you watching a YouTube video. So what's your focus? Is it a 10 or is it a fucking 5? Because you're putting half of your focus on this YouTube video, you're like, oh yeah, that's good. And then you're like, back to charts. Oh, catch your attention, so you're watching that again. Okay, back to the charts. Like, I mean, stupid, right? But people do this all the time. There's just an example of a YouTube video, but hey, you're gonna pick up your phone probably 20 times during that hour too. You know? So it's like focus, maybe 5, maybe 5, maybe 5. Versus somebody who's like, the environment's clear, cell phones on, do not disturb, nothing else on their desktop except the charts. And all they do is for an hour, 45 minutes, they'll just be here looking at this one thing and just scanning and scanning and scanning, focused. Okay. So let's go back to that equation. Let's say you have a 1 energy because you're doing this at the end of the day and you just burn that. Got 1 energy and maybe a 4 focus because you're doing other shit in between. You're multitasking, you know, multitasking. People are like, I'm a professional multitasker. I'm so good at multitasking. You know, stupid. You got it. 1 energy times a 4 focus equals 4. 1 times 4 equals 4. You know, versus somebody who's got a 10 energy and a 10 focus equals 100. 4 versus 100. And then people wonder why the results are not what they want. Because it's all about energy and focus. It's all about managing your energy and managing your focus. Now you're going to be here and drop a bunch of excuses probably. Oh, well, you know, it's unrealistic. I got kids. I got a kid too, you know. But yeah, I get it. People will say, well, your life is, you know, not doable for many. I mean, it is. It's an excuse, man. It's all an excuse. And I understand in a 9 to 5, it's not doable. You gotta do your best. You gotta do your best. You gotta sacrifice a lot of shit. You gotta sacrifice even more. You know, if you want to make this happen. Right? And the next point, consistency. Well, consistency is just, again, unwavering commitment to your goal. You know, so you get a vision, you get a goal. Nothing else matters, man. You just show up every single day. Committed, ready to go. Consistency. People, again, this becomes a goal for many. It's a lot of times they're like, I want to be consistent. 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 You know, I'm just like, just do. Why are you doing different shit all the time? You know, like, why are you doing like, why is your exit always fucking different? Why is your entry always fucking different? Why is it always fucking random? Why are you doing all this random shit? You know, why are you always making your watches at random times? Just be consistent. Just do the same thing. Just do the same thing over and over and over again. You know, that's consistency. Then it becomes much more simple. I gotta say, monk level discipline is a much simpler life. It's a much easier life. It's a much more enjoyable life than chaos. Because most people are in chaos. This is clarity, you know? And the last part here is systems to stay on the rails. Systems. It's part of hyper systemization. Your morning routine, your evening routine, your day is a whole fucking system. You know, your trading plan is a system, right? So as long as you just built it in the right way that you can execute it and it actually works with your day-to-day life and so on, it's optimized, then you just follow it, man. You just stay consistent. You just follow it. Do it every single day, you know? And that's monk level discipline. So our goal is to not be a low performer. Our goal is to be a high performer. In order to be a high performer, you gotta stick to your system regardless of market conditions, showing resilience and adaptability. But you need massive discipline. You need to sacrifice some stuff. You gotta focus on your vision, on your goal, and make sure you have that energy, right? And you gotta stay consistent, and you gotta follow your systems. Conclusion: achieving monk level discipline, transforming your trading approach from haphazard to consistently profitable. Action step: plan your next monk mode sprint. You're going to hear me do this all the time. Monk mode sprints. Okay, think of a quarter, 3 months. If you're going to be a day trader, you know, I like to do 21-day sprints. I call it monk mode. It's the term, monk mode. And we're going to build it more under peak performance lesson. The peak performance lesson, I'm going to show you exactly kind of like what my daily routine looks like, right? But I'm going to show you how to build your own, right? But monk mode sprints is just like you live life a little bit differently, you know? So like as a day trader, full-time day trader as an example, I go hard for the first 21 days, for the first 3 weeks. Fucking discipline, system, do this almost the same day every day, almost eat the same food every day. Like it's the same shit. You know, it's very repeatable, very predictable. It's just, you know, consistent, you know, fully aligned with my vision for the whole 21 days. Okay. And I have a week. Do whatever fuck I want. All the times I follow the same system because it's just, like I said, it feels good. But that last week, I don't necessarily trade. I don't look at the charts. I relax. I go on holidays. I go on vacations, you know. And then I come back, refresh, and boom, another 21-day sprint. And then I relax, reevaluate, reflect, and then boom, another 21-day sprint. And then 3 months are up. And guess what? If you work like that, right? If you stay that focused for 21 days, rest. 21 days, rest. 21 days, rest. I guarantee you're going to get so much done. So much done. And you're going to live a nice fucking life too. You know? So that's day trader schedule for you. You don't. People think they have to be on all weeks for like every single week, never fucking take a break. Nah, man. Monk mode sprint. It's actually better to be like fully disciplined, fully locked in for a sprint, 21 days, and then just like relax, man. You know, because we're not supposed to be working at that fucking level all the time. You know, just relax, recharge. You know, but don't trade during that time. People are gonna be like, "Oh, I'm gonna relax and so on. I'm gonna drop my routines. I'm gonna let go of my habits for a second. You know, the discipline, the sacrifice. I'm gonna eat some junk food. But hey, I got some fucking FOMO, so I'm gonna check the charts." And all of a sudden, they take a bunch of crap shit. You know, it's fucking stupid, but people do it. You know, all of a sudden they get out of monk mode and they're like, "Oh, they got FOMO," right? No, it's like you're in monk mode, you're disciplined, you focus, you do your best, you're optimized, you know, and you perform well. And then you relax. And when you relax, just unplug, man. And then come back, another sprint. And then unplug, and then another sprint. Right? So plan your monk mode sprints. I like to keep it simple. 21 days, take a week off. 21 days, take a week off. 21 days, take a week off. You know? It's nice. Anyway, that's it for this lesson. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.